Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica Wallace. I am the owner of an agency called the Marca, which means the brand in Spanish, and we're about to launch our very own academy to help you with your own self-development journey and growing a business and brand. So whether you're on your own personal self-development journey or you're on your business development journey, we have you covered. And on my channel, I'm going to be teaching you all things self-development and business growth. And in today's episode, I want to talk about communication and how we communicate properly without anxiety. It's something that I've really learned in the past 6 months myself, and something that I'm really passionate about. So I want to teach you all today in my very first YouTube video. I did have YouTube videos before. I deleted them because I really wanted to upgrade my, production of them and my message across to actually help teach you when it comes to this. Before I get started, if this is something that you want to learn more about, I would really love for you to subscribe, follow, save, share, all that stuff that's going to help support my channel and grow. Now, time to get into it. When it comes to our communication skills, and something that I have learned when it comes to business and personal, from going on dates with people, from traveling the world and getting to know friends and different types of people and what they're going through with family conflict, or my business side of things when it comes to meetings and deals and trying to, put myself out there when it comes to showcasing my products and services. Communication is key to everything, and I did suffer from anxiety for a very, very long time, since I was a little girl. And it's something that I really struggled with, and it's only in the last 6 months that I really wanted to put time and energy into building that side of myself up. And communication is really valuable in any relationship that you have. So whether that's like with your partner, friends, family, or in business. And how we can do this is how I did it, was by reading a lot of books, learning people's communication styles. What type of person are they? What traits do they have? What's their personality like? And how you can best accommodate them. Now, if everyone did this, we could all communicate so much better, because you could sit there with somebody and know exactly who they are, how they communicate, what type of person they are. But if they don't know that about you, it's going to make it really hard, because there's always going to have to be a middle ground. But if you do the work to become a better person, then at least you know you can walk away from any situation knowing that you did it with the most authentic and mature self that you can be. Now, when it comes to communication, this is going to help you stay grounded in any conversation that you have as well, whether that's positive or negative. It's going to help you stay calm and collective and not have anxiety going into it. I know when it came to me, for example, at business meetings, I didn't look or feel confident because I didn't know how to communicate properly. And in a business, when you're growing a brand, especially when I was growing my agency, this was something that I had to learn quickly. Now, I've been in business for over 12 years. I owned my very own gym. I was a nutritionist, and I owned my own podcast as well. And I remember when people would come on my podcast, first time meeting them, I'd be so incredibly anxious and nervous. And it showed on the screen as well. You need to show up as your most authentic, confident self. And in order to do this, it's just practice and learning. Every single time you go into any conversation, I want you to really sit down and think how you're going to approach it. How is that person going to react, and who do you want to be going into that conversation? So for example, you're going to a business meeting because you are going to approach them with your products and services, and you want to showcase who you are as a business owner and why they should pick you. Now, if you're somebody who suffers with anxiety, and you are someone who's going to overthink this topic and be like, oh my goodness, I don't know, I don't want to be up myself, but I don't feel confident going into this, because you're self-doubting yourself. If it comes to business and you showcasing your products and services, you need to really believe in what you're saying and believe in how you what you're providing and what your values are with your business. So if we're talking from a business point of view when it comes to communication, what helped me was writing down my why I'm doing this, why do I have this business, and what I'm good at in my business. So for example, I'm really good at self-development and growing my brand. So when I'm going into a business meeting, when I was growing my agency, I know how to grow my social media. I know how to create content. So I'm going to go out in with my strong points of what I'm really passionate about and have some belief in yourself. So sitting down and actually journaling before you go into like a business meeting is something that really helped me to clear your mind without you overthinking all these thoughts. Dump it on a piece of paper. Now, if we're talking about relationships, you might be in a situationship with somebody and you want to make that next step to go further, and you are so scared that they are going to leave because it might become too much. Once again, I journal everything. I would sit down with my core beliefs of what I want in life, and if things aren't growing and going further, I'm going to enter that I'm going to enter that conversation knowing this is where I want it to go for my future. So I'm not going to people please somebody and make myself unhappy. If they are your person and you are going to move forward, then that person is going to be on the same page as you. And if they're not, that is not the person for you. So sometimes you need to have these hard conversations with yourself of exactly being so self-aware of who you are, what you want moving forward, and what you expect and standards from other people. And this will allow you to go into conversations so much more confident. Now, this isn't you going in with a high ego where you're going to yell at them. Going into any kind of conflict conversation with a really beautiful aura where you're really calm and collected and not yelling, and trying to come to a middle ground with that person. And if any conversation is going to make you feel anxious because they're yelling at you, you can simply just say, I will talk to you when you want to have a more mature conversation with me. I usually just say that, and I'll get up and walk away from any situation that's making me feel anxious. But your job is to go into any type of communication with the most level head, knowing exactly where you want it to go. And if it doesn't come with that outcome, then you need to sit there and have a mature conversation for a middle ground. Now, this could be with any conversation when it comes to, say, a friend. Your friend might have did something that you didn't agree with. You and your friend have been best friends for so long, and you're really, really anxious to tell them, hey, like this really bothered me. I think a lot of us go in thinking that everything's going to be a fight and argument, and it doesn't have to be like that. So going into these conversations as, this is my best friend, she is everything to me, and I know that we are on the same page with things, and just going out like in these conversations being really cool, calm and collected, and just saying, hey, like this really bothered me, and having a really mature conversation. These are just some examples of what helped me, but if you can take anything away from this video, journaling your thoughts down before a communication with anyone can really, really help you. And reading some books on how to communicate with people. There is a book called Surrounded by Idiots. It is 4 colors and it goes off personality traits. This book really determines who you are as well, like what color code you are. And also when you're talking to someone, I've really learned, oh, this person's a red. This is how we're going to navigate them. This person's a blue. Now read this book and you'll understand what I'm saying. This book helps when it comes to how people communicate within, I guess, business or personal life. There is another book called Attached. This is going to help you when it comes to relationships of what type of attachment style somebody is and how you can navigate conversations with these types of people. You've got the anxious, avoidant, and secure, and the anxious avoidant as well. These 4 attachment types all have different personality traits when it comes to conversations. So this book can really help you when it comes to going into a conversation with, I guess, those attachment styles. These 2 books really helped me in business and personal when it comes to communicating with people in a really mature way, and knowing who I am as well, and understanding why I think and feel and act certain ways as well, so I can grow. It's not just about the other person. You need to learn when it comes to communication styles as to why you're acting a certain way. It can't just be all the time on the person that you're communicating with. You need to have control over your emotions and how you think and feel going into conversations, because you can't control what somebody else is going to say, think and feel, but you always have control over what you say, think and feel. So in life, If you can't control something, there is no point dwelling on it. You can only control what you can control. And in these situations, you can control exactly how you're going to handle the situation on your end. So you can walk away knowing that you were really mature, cool, calm, and collected, and doing your, I guess, work beforehand for yourself. So you're not entering a conversation that's going to be really, I guess, have your anxiety heightened. Because once your anxiety is heightened and you go into a conversation, me personally, when I would go in and my anxiety would be so high, I would go in, shaking, my heart would be pacing, and I'd get really defensive. And then once you become defensive, that person might become defensive, and it can just not end well. So ensuring that you're communicating without anxiety, prepping yourself beforehand, and ensuring that you're going in with a level head. I hope this episode was valuable for you. I'm really excited to be creating more videos like this. If there's anything that you need help with when it comes to self-development or business growth, comment below, or you can DM me on Instagram at the Marca Academy, or my personal one at Jessica Ann Wallace, and I will see you all in the next episode.